is there a way to find the MR, which is the machine readable entity ID or something like that? Is there a way to find the MRE ID in Google Knowledge Panel, as I can't seem to find it, and I'm sure I could before, or has Google changed? Yeah, I believe there has been a change. So I was actually looking at this because I have the way that there was one way that I know of that used to be this, I don't know if you guys can see it in my browser up here, but it says get the MRE ID. This was a bookmarklet that you could drag up to your bookmarks bar here. And it used to work where if you click that, it would right here where it would say MRE ID, it would show you the MRE ID for the entity if it had one. But now it's showing as undefined. And so if you just do a quick search for how to find the MRE ID in Google, you'll see that this was the bookmark that I was talking about right here. You would drag that up to the your bookmark bar, and then you would just click on it when you have a Google SERP that displays an entity in the knowledge graph. However, that's not working for some reason. And and I even just replaced it by a moment ago while Adam was talking, and it's still not working. So there must have been some sort of change. However, let me point out a couple of other things from that same Google search for how to find MRE ID. If you click the upbuild.io and wordlift.io, there's some pretty good articles here about MERID. So if you guys want to find out more about it, that kind of stuff, you can just click through and read these two articles. Also, there is the developers.com, or excuse me, developers.google.com, the knowledge graph reference REST VI API. So in other words, the knowledge graph search API, it's inside the developers console in Google. If you go over there and type in, if you go over there to, or excuse me, into here, and then under the query section on the right-hand side, you just type in the entity name, right? Then you'll see over here, it's going to pull in, this is the result. So let me just refresh and we'll start this over so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So over here where it says query, you type your string in. And so I'm going to use mine that I was just using. So Big Bamboo Marketing. Okay. And then hit execute. And you'll see if you scroll down on the side, I know it's probably small on your end, guys, but if your brand, if the company or whatever it is that you're searching for is an actual validated entity in the semantic web, it should show a knowledge graph ID, which is, as far as I know, and I may be wrong on this, is the same as the MRE ID. But it has to have one. In other words, it has to be a recognized entity in order for it to have a knowledge graph ID, which I think, again, is, and again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the same as the MRE ID. And if you scroll down, you'll see it. It's right here. It's where it says add ID, but it says KG : and then if I'm going to put this on a notepad file so you guys can see it a little bit bigger. This is what it's showing is the KG ID right there. Okay. So that's the knowledge graph ID, which again, I believe is the exact same thing as an MRE ID. All right. So this is the actual format of how you would add that right there. So all you would do is take this part of the URL, copy that, and you're going to add your KG or your KG ID to the end of that, and to right there, and then that'll give you the actual format of the URL for your MERID, right? So just so you can see what I'm talking about, if I come over here to Firefox and I search for Big Bamboo Marketing, you'll see that my knowledge panel, the typical knowledge panel shows up here. But if you scroll down, because I am Big Bamboo Marketing is a recognized entity, because a long time ago, years ago, I was actually able to add Big Bamboo Marketing as an entity to Freebase before Freebase got shut down to the public. And that was a semantic database that you could actually enter entity information in. So I was able to do that. And that's why Big Bamboo Marketing has it. So if I click on this, this will actually take me to the entity graph view. In other words, this is not showing that what we call the knowledge graph, but this is showing the entity graph, which is showing that this is an actual entity inside of the semantic web and Google semantic database. And if you take a look, excuse me, let me close out of this. You can see up in the, let's see, let me grab the share URL. we'll copy that. We'll go view that separately. Once again, you'll see the KGM ID is right there. So this is right there before the ampersand. If I copy that, it's the same as what you're seeing right here. See that? It's the same URL. So if we were to just close this down and go one more time with that, just that URL, and I don't know why it didn't actually pull it all the way through. Marco, do you know how to get the URL to appear as the knowledge graph from the KGM ID or the KG ID?
Yeah, if I go and look at my notes, I have somewhere how to get it.
Okay.
But
right,
I'm not going to go right now. You just did a great job of explaining how to do it. I'd be careful. I'd just tell people, be careful. That's your machine readable entity ID. You're fucking around with your entity when you're using that. Be careful what you do with your entity, the way that things are being looked at right now and seen right now, and the way that the algorithm is looking at your entity. So if you do anything to ambiguate your entity, you're in trouble. That's all I have to say. Just a word of warning for all you guys that are, you heard about this machine readable ID hack and this thing and what you can, all of these different things that you can do. Just make sure that you know exactly what it is that you're doing with that machine readable entity ID. That's your entity on the web as far as Google is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. I was able to enter in the Freebase back before they had shut it down to public editing. I was actually able to add it, and that's showing the MRE ID is the same as what I was just showing here. So you can see that that's what I've got right there.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, hopefully that was helpful. I don't know what you're going to do with it, but there you go.